This elegant depiction of the Visitation is by the French Gothic artist Jean Pucelle. It comes from an illuminated manuscript known as the Hours of Jeanne. As a work of devotional art, the Hours of Jeanne expands the viewer's spiritual imagination. To achieve this purpose, Pucelle's art employs a unique and refined visual language. Pucelle's visual method unites the illusion of pictorial depiction with the structure of compositional design. Pucelle eloquently visualizes a biblical narrative in which the Virgin Mary, already pregnant with Christ, visits her cousin Elizabeth, who is the mother of John the Baptist. Pucelle depicts a moment when the two women embrace each other. This art employs a visual language that unites two strategies of image making: pictorial depiction and compositional design. And before proceeding any further in discussing this groundbreaking work of 14th century devotional art, we should clarify these terms: pictorial depiction and compositional design. Pictorial depiction is the creation of a visual illusion. Although this book page is actually flat, Pucelle's method of pictorial depiction creates the visual illusion of three-dimensional figures interacting in narrative space. For example, the embracing figures of Elizabeth and Mary both reach behind each other. This implies a three-dimensional depth of space in which the figures have volume and movement. Pucelle's use of pictorial depiction was an innovative development in 14th century French art. A second part of Pucelle's strategically developed visual language is compositional design. Compositional design is the organization of two-dimensional forms on the flat page. Let's look again at the embracing women and pay attention to the compositional forms that are created by the robes that cascade over their arms. Pucelle's compositional design has the shape of arrows. In this work, Pucelle both visually suggests the pictorial illusion of two figures reaching around each other, and he also constructs a compositional design of two forms pointing toward each other. This depiction of the Visitation exemplifies a synthesis of compositional design and pictorial depiction. Pucelle created an illusion of figures embracing in three-dimensional space, and he also maintained the visual unity of his image through compositional design. If Pucelle's aim in this work of devotional art was to draw the viewer's spiritual imagination into the sacred subject, Pucelle also achieves this purpose through his depiction of the space in which the holy women stand. Mary and Elizabeth stand within an architectural frame. The curves of this frame echo the circular forms of their halos. Pucelle ingeniously employs the shape of this frame to simultaneously divide the two holy women into their own spaces and to compositionally propel them toward each other. While the two women are clearly separated from each other at the top of the page, their forms become compositionally interconnected at the bottom of the page. Therefore, as we study this image, we see how Mary and Elizabeth become both spiritually and compositionally united with each other. The structure of Pucelle's composition draws the viewer into this moment of spiritual union between these expectant mothers. In this book of Hours, Jean Pucelle constructs a visual language out of a carefully calibrated balance of pictorial depiction and compositional design. This artistic method draws the viewer's imagination into a more active engagement with the sacred narrative. As a devotional guide, the Hours of Jeanne moves the viewer from being a passive observer of the image to becoming spiritually present in this sacred moment.